There are things in life I don't like mayonnaise on burgers or pineapple on pizza. But there's only one thing that I truly cannot stand.
You gotta sell something. I don't know what you gotta sell, but you gotta sell something.
This is what's happening tonight. It's the masterclass on how to go from 0 to a 7-figure revenue business.
When people say, oh, is this get rich quick? You better hope that it is.
The get rich quick schemes. That's actually how this channel started, with a series called Fake Gurus, dedicated to exposing all the grifters out there who got wealthy by selling people on how to get wealthy, that sort of thing. And there was a point at which, believe it or not, we were winning the war. The message was getting out there. Hey, don't buy a get-rich-quick scheme. But if I'm being honest, we've been away for a while, talking about crypto, right? And I've been slowly but surely hearing whispers on the wind that the grifters and fake gurus, they're back. And this time, they've teamed up. Like a gang of hyenas, they've realized there's safety in numbers. And to be honest, I don't know if I can stop them. I'm talking, of course, about Jordan Belfort and Brian Rose's alliance, and course. That's right, the piss drinker of Wall Street and actual Wall Street fraudster. Together, they have joined forces. And individually, sure, I could probably take them. But together, I'm not so sure. I'm worried that their powers of persuasion might be too much even for me, Coffeezilla, the internet detective. So I want to warn you guys ahead of time, hold on to your wallets. They may try to take them from you in this video. And we're going to investigate the return of the fake gurus.
Here at London Real Studios, I will be hosting a 2-day crypto, DeFi, NFT, and metaverse mastermind with the Wolf of Wall Street himself, Jordan Belfort. Jordan is an industry titan who's become a household name for his ability to build multi-million-dollar companies and work with the who's who of business and the blockchain.
No, wait. Pause it real quick, okay? A lot to unpack here. I'm feeling pretty unpersuaded, to be honest with you. First thing I gotta say, I love how they describe Jordan Belfort as being famous for building multi-million-dollar businesses. I mean, that's one way to frame it, I guess. I mean, here I thought Jordan Belfort was famous for scamming people, going to jail, and then having Leonardo DiCaprio play him in a movie. But, who am I kidding? I'm not hosting the crypto mastermind, The Wolf in the Rose. That's what they call this, by the way. The other thing I want to talk about real quick is the price for this 2-day event, this mastermind. I mean, how much would you pay to get the two titans of this industry teaching you? $100, maybe $200 for 2 days? Wrong answer. The price of going to this event is $24,000. Ladies and gentlemen, that's almost the price of a Bitcoin, just so you can hear the two biggest grifters on earth try to sell you on buying Bitcoin. I mean, they really do pitch themselves in this as sort of the experts in the field of cryptocurrency.
With gourmet catering throughout each day and a strictly limited number of places available, this is a unique opportunity to be personally tutored by two of the most recognizable former Wall Street traders who are now at the forefront of the crypto industry.
I mean, once again, I don't mean to quibble here, but most recognizable how? This is a more shameless duo than if Elizabeth Holmes and Trevor Milton started a how to start a business masterclass. I mean, you're right, you'd be technically recognizable, all right. And can we just talk for a second about Jordan Belfort? I mean, what happened to that guy? I thought he was like teaching how to sell a pen or something. Instead, he's selling investment advice again, and you'd think he would have learned his lesson. I mean, he ruined his life as a scammer, got federally indicted, went to prison, and then he came out. He probably thought his life was over, only to have his career resurrected by none other than Leonardo DiCaprio. You'd think at that point, you've made it, right? You've been the guy who got struck by lightning and survived. You'd think you'd hang it up. You'd ride it out, being the guy who got the second chance and made the best of it. But instead, Jordan Belfort is selling shameless crypto masterminds, and this isn't even his first one. The New York Times actually reported on a previous one he did charging $40,000 a pop, which I guess the lowered price is because of Brian Rose being a part of it, which makes sense. And look, I'm not saying this is illegal, right? They know that it's not illegal to sell overpriced courses. It's just a pretty scummy, disgusting thing to do because they know they don't know how to make you rich with crypto. They don't know whether the price is going to go up, down, left, right, or sideways, which is why instead of actually investing themselves and making money that way, they sell you on how to do it. And tell you that you're going to make money. I mean, just to give you an idea of the absolute lack of credibility of these guys, let's actually talk about some of the crypto calls they've made in the past. Brian Rose, for example, on May 5th, posted a live stream about Terra Luna, saying why you need to know about it, how it had all this value locked in it. That was 2 days before it crashed to zero, and Brian deleted this tweet. He also posted on May 3rd about Crypto.com's best kept secret and why you need to know about Kronos the day after they slashed their rewards and their price started to fall and plummet. And look, Jordan Belfort is a little bit better, but only slightly. Like in 2017, he said Bitcoin was bad, but then near March 2021, near the all-time high of Bitcoin, Jordan Belfort all of a sudden jumps on the bandwagon and says he's a bull, says it's going to 100K.
I think what happens first before anything long term is I think it goes higher technically, probably to 100,000 or more. But what happens over the long term, I still think is an open question. I'm a bull, certainly for the short term, and I love blockchain technology overall.
What? Now, of course, Bitcoin did not go to $100,000 in the short term, and instead is trading at $27,000, which is half of the price you would have bought it at had you bought when Jordan Belfort suddenly jumped on the Bitcoin bandwagon. And these are the guys, mind you, who are supposed to teach you the secrets of wealth in crypto. The only real secret being that there's anyone still left buying these guys' ridiculous courses. Because Jordan Belfort is an actual former criminal who got indicted for defrauding people. And Brian Rose is a well-known grifter who dances on a new topic every day. One day it's the digital freedom platform. Then he's running for mayor. Now he's doing this DeFi grift, which he will, of course, abandon as soon as it's inconvenient. So if you're buying this, understand that you're not learning about the opportunity. You are the opportunity.
Let me tell you the story of one of my favorite shows, Really Weird History. It's a sad story. What started as a series of really compelling, amazingly well-researched videos ended because of views.
And then I guess this is probably going to be one of the last questions.
I tracked down the creator under the guise of shooting a podcast, but really I just wanted to ask him this one question. Why?
You know, Really Weird History kind of broke my heart. That was, I really loved that series. And it was not nearly as successful as I thought it would be. I had planned to do 7 episodes, and we got 3 in.
For a while I thought my heart would never heal. I'd just always have a really weird history-sized hole. Until one day I realized he was selling merch. And for a moment, I thought I could be happy. So I ordered it. For a while everything was fine, and then came in the mail. And everything was perfect until a new villain appeared. No, not views, not the villain of needing to impress. This villain. Barney, come show me what this is. Come show me what this is. Come show me what you did to the shirt that was going to solve all my problems. To the shirt that was going to heal the broken heart that was me. What'd you do to it? What'd you do, Barney? What'd you do to my hopes and dreams? Do you have nothing to say for yourself? You monster, don't you like that? And so we return back to where we started. Sad, with a really weird sized hole in our hearts.
pure cost from what I lost, investing in advertising, thinking this was going to work, was about $50,000 to $60,000. So he offered me a free iPad, and I got that. And
it's not, well, it's an expensive iPad when you think about it. I mean, right. From a certain perspective, it's a very expensive iPad, but yeah.
So he used the name of his former company to claim it's some accrediting body.
Welcome to Coffeezilla. Today we have Levi, and he wants to talk to you guys about teaching English as a foreign language and how he got scammed by Jimmy Krangler, right?
Jimmy Krangle.
Jimmy Krangle. Krangler.
He is the Krangler. That's a good nickname.
Yeah. Sorry about that. So just jump in, Levi. I mean, let's start maybe broad terms. How much, what was the impact of getting involved with Jimmy Krangle, the Krangler?
That's a good question. Man, the impact long term, it's hard to say because I lost so much in opportunity costs, but just pure cost from what I lost, investing in advertising, thinking this was going to work, was about $50,000 to $60,000.
That's so brutal. That is brutal. I think it's a good cautionary tale. The reason I'm having you on is I often think these are good cautionary tales for anyone who thinks that they have something that feels too good to be true. Yeah. Obviously, you didn't get involved in this thinking that you would lose that amount of money. Walk us through how you got there and how you had that much to begin with. I think that's interesting.
I was an English teacher in China for 3.5 years. I started in 2015 in May.
Okay. Yeah.
And I didn't have much money at the time, but I saved it up over the next 3.5 years teaching. I got better jobs and I got a teaching certificate. So I was a professional teacher and got a job at an international school. And I also made a little bit of that money, about $20,000 from trading cryptocurrency. So at that point in my life, I was like, I'm ready to just move back to the United States. I don't like it here anymore. I don't want to teach and I don't want to be in China. So
that's surprising because I think for a lot of people, they want to go abroad and they have this like very big fantasy about what going abroad could mean. And teaching abroad is one of those ways people consider doing it. What was your experience with that?
Yeah, it was exciting. I had the same idea when I started. It was this big fantasy, like I was just going to travel the world and make money doing it. It was great, So that illusion kind of wore off as time went on because I was having to deal with all this bureaucratic stuff, being a foreigner in China. And it just didn't seem like the people would treat me like a normal person because I was a foreigner to them. So I was thinking about getting into this business because, it seemed like a good investment for me. I'd been around, I had some experience in that industry.
Hold on, let's back up. Let's make sure to clarify. What business are you getting into? Because we haven't gotten into that. What is Jimmy Krangle's business? So you are teaching English as a foreign language in China.
So should I describe his business model?
Yes.
Okay. So the idea was, he called this a franchise. So he was selling a part of his business basically. And I think this is a little different from your normal run-of-the-mill guru like you usually do, the fake gurus, because he's actually claiming he has a working business model. So yeah, the deal was I would sell his TEFL courses, and TEFL is an acronym for Teaching English as a Foreign Language. So there are these courses you can do to prepare yourself to ostensibly teach English overseas in basically any country. And I was like, yeah, okay, that sounds legit because, I knew this could work. I knew people made money doing it. But I didn't know this guy, of course. So, and the deal was I would get 80% of the profits for all of the courses sold, plus a another commission if I recruited other franchisees.
That's such a high percentage of the commission, 80%. I've never heard of a commission that high.
The numbers just went up and down wildly. Like sometimes it would be 20,000, 40,000 for the franchise fee. And then he's like,
sorry, how much did you pay for the franchise?
The franchise was $30,000 for me.
And what did you get?
Just the promise that I would make 80% of the profits.
So you got no physical good. You got no physical good for $30,000. Just more like
actually, I think that's why he offered some of these other perks, because it's like there's nothing physical to this. So he offered me a free iPad, and I got that. And
it's not it's an expensive iPad when you think about it. I mean, right. From a certain perspective, it's a very expensive iPad. But yeah, free iPad.
And also, okay. So I want to get into some of the perks he offered, which was he offered to, like, I had to fly out. I had to pay for my plane ticket to get out to Thailand where he lived, and he would offer me this free TEFL course. I thought this was actually his TEFL course. It was live in class. So I would go attend that TEFL course on the tropical island of Koh Samui, and I did. So it turns out he wasn't even associated with that TEFL course. He just paid for me to be in there, I guess.
And why were you going? Because you already were teaching you had already been a teacher of English as a foreign language for 3 years. You went to experience what it would be like to sell that product, or what?
I wanted to take advantage of what he was offering me, because he was like, you can go to Koh Samui, which is a really nice place to be. Okay. It's like a vacation. Mm-hmm. It was a nice time, I'm not going to lie. I got something, but it's not worth what I paid. I paid for the business. That's what I was in it for.
And the business was you would sell for him his course, and you would get 80% of the profits. Yep. Now, I think a lot of people listening, including myself, are going to think that sounds more like an affiliate link than it does a franchise.
Yeah, given that's probably not the legal term, but that's the word he used. It's
franchise just sounds better. Basically. Franchise sounds like it sounds like you're getting something, whereas what you're really getting is kind of an affiliate deal, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then and how is this pitched to you? I mean, you wouldn't spend $30,000 if you thought it was wouldn't make you some money. Why did you think it would make you so much money?
I don't know. It was one of those Facebook ads that I clicked on. I never would have given it a second look, but because I knew about this fake guru stuff, I was kind of naive at the time. But this guy offered something tangible, and I had some experience with it, so it's like, this might actually work. And he said it's basically guaranteed. If it doesn't work, you'll get your money back. It's like, well,
oh, dude, that those promises aren't worth anything.
Never.
Guys, when you see a money back guarantee, it's never worth the paper it's printed on. Sometimes
for that much money,
sometimes it's honored, sometimes it's not. And the guy is in where? Thailand?
Yeah.
What are you going to do? Right. So, right. Okay. So he offers you a money back guarantee, guaranteed to work. And he's basically pitching you the laptop lifestyle, I'm guessing, in the Facebook ad.
Yeah. Like the digital nomad thing.
Seductive, man. It's so seductive.
Yeah. They all use the same tactics. I've come to learn this over the years. It's just, I don't know.
So you decide, all right, I want to do this, and you have $30,000 to spend because you've been saving all this money.
Right. Yeah, I've been teaching. Yeah,
but you were saving that so you could land on your feet when you wanted to do something else, right?
Yeah, exactly. I had this idea that I was going to go home and start investing in real estate, and that was what I wanted to do since before I left for China. So that's probably what I should have done. It's just I could have gone home and bought a house free and clear, and I'd be good set. I'd be set. But I decided, no, I'm gonna invest this right now while I have this opportunity, because it was just right in my face. and I thought it would work. So it would be a good transition for me once I was out of China and living in the U.S. and I didn't really know what to do in the U.S. And I kept having these creeping thoughts like, what if this doesn't work and I have nothing left? And that's essentially what happened when I got back to the U.S.
Because it costs so much to run this business.
Yeah.
How much did you have in savings, if you don't mind me asking, before leaving China or starting this course? And then how much did you have after, if you can ballpark?
I calculated it somewhere around $80,000 to $85,000 in savings.
That's a lot of money. That's a good job saving.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I didn't have any debt when I left, so that really helped. But, so I was able to save. And then at the end, the 30,000 took a good chunk of it. And after that, I spent like a year trying to hire people to do the marketing for me because I didn't have any experience in this kind of thing.
Oh, you gave this a real shot. Like you really tried to make this thing. Like it wasn't just...
I was just going to throw money at it until it worked.
Oh my gosh. So it's so interesting. Okay. So sometimes people realize like early on, for some reason, they're really fooled at the outset. And then they realize early on, oh, this is a scam. I'm not going to spend any time on it. But very few people, but what I actually kind of appreciate that you really gave this a shot, because now you can definitively talk about whether it's a scam or it's not, because you have you've given it tens of thousands of dollars.
I had these doubts, in my mind throughout the whole period. I was like, maybe I just suck at this. But I hired the best people I could. And I actually got it caught up in another scam while I was doing it for a professional online marketer who was doing Facebook ads. I got like a few posts on my Facebook and nothing else. That was it.
No, Levi. Don't.
I don't even want to go into that.
You need to log off Facebook, dude. I think you need to log off Facebook. I think Facebook's the start of all your troubles.
Okay, you know what? You're right.
Yeah, you can't believe what you see on Facebook, man. They don't monitor any of that stuff. Wow.
Well, I found this guy in Upwork. But
okay. Oh, okay. Upwork. So he's an internet marketer, Facebook marketer, whatever.
Yeah. And after that, I actually found some guys who were pretty good, and they're the ones who keyed me off that this was all a scam, in a certain way,
Did they outright tell you that?
No, they had no idea what I was doing. They thought it would work too, because I didn't really prep them on this, but it was like, okay, you run my ads on Facebook. I'll pay the marketing costs and I'll pay you your fee. It was $1,000 a month to hire them. Mm-hmm. And then I was going to spend $2,000 a month on ads because I was going big,
Wow. That's a lot of money.
Yeah. So I had these professional ads made. That was another cost. And then had them run on Facebook for a few months. And the thing is, I actually got 2 sales in the beginning. I got credited with 2 sales. So I was like, yeah, maybe this could actually work. So I'll keep trying this for a little while. And then the winter came and the holidays and everything, things were slowing down. And they had told me this, according to their business model, things would be really low in December. So I was like, I'm just going to take a break for now. So I put the whole operation on hold in November until the end of January. And in November,
January 2019 or 2018?
2018.
Okay.
Yeah. Then November is when I flew out to Thailand and I met Jimmy Kringle.
What was that like?
Man, hard to describe. It's
really?
He had this air like a guru. But once I was there, I was like, how could this be a scam? I'm actually here. Yeah, he's paying for my hotel room.
He's physically, I don't know where my camera just went out of focus. He's physically, right. How could this guy be a scam?
A justification, in my mind.
He's standing right in front of me.
Right. Yeah, which I never thought somebody would scam you to your face. That's just like something that happens far away.
No. They'll scam you to your face, behind a computer, anywhere, man. Anywhere. Yeah. Okay, so, and at this point, you hadn't seen much success. Did you bring that up with him?
Yeah, I was trying to build a website. I also hired somebody to build a website for me. And
all of this is to redirect affiliate traffic to him.
Exactly, right.
And okay, how is this supposed to make you $100K a year? I mean, you'd have to get so many sales, right?
The way I calculated, it was like 15 sales a month would put me in the profit zone. So
that's a lot of sales. I mean, how many English teaching positions are there versus how many advertisers for teaching English as a foreign language?
That's another thing. They claimed the demand was huge in this industry. Like it was a $10 billion market or something. I don't know.
I don't know. That just doesn't sound right. I mean, it doesn't pass the smell test. It's possible. It's possible. My concept of how huge the teaching English foreign language certificate market is, but a
lot of people do it. I did it,
Sure. No. I have no doubt that people do it. I mean, I'm just saying that is it's a gigantic scale. But the idea was, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I could have taken the cue from my friend, like in China. He was the first guy who got me into China and found me some jobs. That was his role. And he warned me from the outset that this was a scam. Like, you never make any money doing that stuff. But I didn't listen to him, But this was after I already paid $30,000. I told.
Well, then of course you didn't listen.
He's like,
to him
I could have told you.
Yeah. If you already spent $30,000, you're not going to listen to the naysayers.
Right. I still could have saved myself a bunch of money though.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like you spent tens of thousands of dollars after that on Facebook ads, hiring a team, all this stuff. So when did you realize, okay, this is a gigantic scam? And in some ways, this has seriously screwed up your future plans.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't just jump into real estate like I thought I would do, but I've had to get pick another career path, which I'm doing now. I'm going into aviation maintenance, and that's going okay so far. Mm-hmm. But the moment I realized this was all a scam, it was after, I wish I'd realized this before I'd gone to his mastermind training event in Bangkok, because then I could have blown the whole thing wide open. But after that, I was still under the impression that I was going to make some money. And he addressed some of my concerns while we were there. He's like, okay, we're just going to send it to his web page that he had already made, and we're going to use my special affiliate link. And then, so I started doing that again, started the operation back up in late January, and through February, I got one more sale in the beginning, and then nothing for the rest of the month. It's like, how is this possible? I did phone calls with him. He's like, this is going to pick up gradually as you go. But, after about a month, I was like, there's nothing. And he was like, no, just keep going. You have to do it for at least 3 months. And, meanwhile, my team was telling me, we had some good metrics on Facebook ads, but there's just no sales.
Right. People were clicking and they weren't actually buying, which is a good indicator that the product, if you can get people in front of your product and they're consistently not buying, that says more about the product, because the advertising is just to get them in the door. And so if you were getting them in the door, you were doing your part. And then if they weren't getting sales, conversions weren't happening, that's totally on Krangler.
Yeah. There's another important point, because he was there's from all indications, from what I can tell, he was stealing commissions. He was stealing credit for these sales.
Of course he was, because otherwise he'd have to give you 80% of the profits.
Yeah, exactly. Like, what's the point? Why would he do that?
Stupid, dude.
I didn't realize
so
it.
Stupid.
But
yeah.
So the indication was that I knew some of these people who I was selling to. Is like,
I want to clarify. I don't know whether he stole commissions. I don't want to say he stole commissions. I don't know. That's Levi's accusation there.
Yeah. No.
I have no idea.
I can back that up. I'm not going to sound like 100% certain, but it to me it was obvious, and I'd verified this with other franchisees at the time. It's like I knew some of these people I was selling to, and they said they'd clicked on my link. The way Jimmy said it would work, if anybody ever clicked on my link, I would get credit for them, even if they clicked on a different link later.
If they ended up buying the product and they've clicked on your link first, you get the credit.
I would get credit.
And you were not getting credit.
No. Like, I talked to some of these people. They said they clicked on my link and they bought the course. Jimmy Kringle verified that person had actually purchased a course. I was like, they got the link from me first, so how did I not get credit for that? Unless they somehow found it unless they never clicked on my link and then they went and somehow found the other link on Facebook somewhere.
Let me ask you, how indicative of this is this to other teaching English as a foreign language course? Because obviously Jimmy Kringle, I think most people haven't heard of him. He's just some guy, what you're kind of characterizing as a shyster. I won't make my own personal character judgments against him, but there are a lot of people in this industry that are kind of similar, would you say? Or
yeah, it varies. Most of the TEFL courses have no backing whatsoever. There's no accreditation, but schools will still accept it as some form of education to submit to their government to say that we're allowed to have foreign teachers working here.
So what would you recommend people do if they're getting into it? Would you say don't go through a teaching certification at all, or just say, hey, go through the cheapest one you can because none of them are accredited?
I don't want to say that, because there's like one legitimate course that I can think of, if you don't mind me.
What's that? Go ahead.
The International TEFL Academy.
Okay.
So that was I did that through them first when I went there, and they gave me some, I had to do some practicum, which is like real teaching, and submit evidence of that. And it was, it helped a little bit. So they had some educational standards there, but these other courses, they're just completely online. You click through a few.
Oh, so it's
slides. Watch a few videos, and
right.
Yeah. So that's the idea.
But outside of these, like this very maybe small group of legit sources, there are a lot of people trying to do something similar to Jimmy Kringle, where it's like just a quick and fast certification that doesn't mean anything. Yeah. Didn't you say that he said he was accredited or something like that?
Yeah. Actually, that's a good point. Look, I have some screenshots here.
By the way, guys, you cannot find this anymore because this website has been taken down. We'll get into that in a second, but just for you guys looking,
good point.
English.org no longer exists for reasons we'll get into. But this is a screenshot I guess you took before it got shut down?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Just to verify some of this stuff. So, this is actually itefl.org over here on the, I don't know which side it is for you, but it's the left on my side. Yeah. And he has the same TEFL logo at the bottom there, the blue logo.
Okay. Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And that's also on his old itefl.org page. Can you see that?
Got it. Yeah. I see that, like that TEFL logo.
Right.
What is that logo supposed to be? Is it like an accreditation?
This is the iTEFL logo. He also used that on e-English. And then at the bottom of the page, it says accredited by the International TEFL Organization.
Who is the International TEFL Organization?
That's this one. So he used the name of his former company to claim it's some accrediting body.
Oh man, that's pretty bold. Whoa,
yeah.
Here, stop sharing for a second.
Okay.
So he started an old company, then had a new company, and said his new company's accredited by his old.
Exactly. It was
so you
fake.
could trust him.
Exactly. Yeah.
And you didn't realize this until much later, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I realized this at some point during the whole thing, and I was starting to have doubts.
So you started realizing it was bad. Your sales weren't coming in, and is that when you jumped ship?
Basically, yeah. I when I heard the difference between what Jimmy was saying and what my marketers were saying, I was like, this is not a good sign. So that was it for me. I was like, okay, I'm gonna call it. You guys can go. No complaints against the marketing, the business that I'd hired. It's just I could tell that this was all Jimmy's fault at that point.
You'd kind of gotten hoodwinked by the promise of
yeah. Well, I don't want to say it was all his fault. I'm partially responsible too, of course, but
sure. But I mean, mostly Jimmy's fault though, right?
Right. He's a scam artist.
And so at that point, you get really angry, I'm assuming.
Yeah. Really angry. And I emailed him back, and I was like, back and forth. I was like, you know about that promise you made me? I mentioned this in our meeting in Bangkok. And he was like, yeah, you'll get it, but you'll have to step away from the franchise.
What promise? The money back?
The money back guarantee.
Okay.
And he was like, yeah, you'll get that. And then I was like, hey, you know about that thing you said? I was like, how about... It's like, okay, I think I'll cash in on that.
Yeah, because you hadn't made any money, so he should give you back your money.
Right. And that was the whole deal. If I make less than $50,000 a year in the first year, he said, I'd get my money back.
That's what they all say, man. That's what they tell you. So you believe it. So that you think, okay, this is risk-free, or it assures you that there's basically no downside. That's the biggest scam in the book. Yeah, okay. And then you try to exercise it.
Yeah, exactly. And then he's like, okay, the board is going to have a meeting about this, and we're going to tell you our decision later.
What board?
I don't know.
There was no board.
I'm
going to go out on a limb here and say that there probably was no board involved. It was probably Jimmy Krangler going up. Do I want to give back $30,000? No. All in favor? Myself.
Right. And I got the email back, the response saying, we noted the following. They gave me all of these reasons. Like,
what were the reasons?
The reasons, it was something like, you didn't try hard enough. We gave you everything, and you didn't. And then you didn't do it for 3 months, like we said.
There it is. There it is.
Right. So
I thought you had been working on it for more than 3 months.
Yeah, definitely. I hadn't advertised continuously for 3 months.
Oh, because you had been like trying it, hiring a new team, putting it on pause. Right.
So he was like, no, you got to do this continuously for 3 months.
What an odd...
This was never in the stipulations,
Of course not. I feel bad for you, and I feel bad for anyone. I think people assume that because most refund policies, we have an expectation in America that they usually are what they say they are. Like if you go back to like Walmart and say, hey, this wasn't what I thought or what I wanted, you can just get a refund. There's this really frictionless experience of refunds in American culture that makes you think that everybody who says there's a refund, it is what they say it is. And let me be clear with you guys, it is not what they say it is with a lot of these internet marketers.
That's a good point. Yeah. And, I think that's true of the Western world in general, because there were people from England, Australia, all over the place, South Africa, investing in this franchise. So it wasn't just me, but
That's good. That's good. You were hey, you weren't the only one. Well, that's bad actually. We don't want the Krangler getting more.
No. Maybe you don't understand how bad it is, because I think this guy probably scammed people out of millions of dollars. I don't know for sure how much it was, but it was definitely more than 20 people, and it was. And he said he limited it to 50 in the contract at one time. He's like, we're not going to have any more than 50 franchisees. And in a later video,
that's always a lie. That's always a lie. When people say, hey, limited class space, they want it to sound exclusive, but the second the 51st person wants to pay $30,000, I promise you, all those little dreams of a small class size, they disappear. They always do. Look at, well, you don't know him, but there's this guy, Suraj Raval. He was this computer science guy. He said, I'm starting a course. It's going to be 500 people. Lo and behold, he created 2 different Slack groups that were each 500 people large, because he didn't want to tell the other group that he wanted more people in his course to make more money. The greed takes over. You always end up.
Yeah, it was in the contract though, and
that just doesn't mean anything. It just doesn't mean anything that it's in the contract. We have anyway. Sorry, I'm gonna rant.
I'm just trying. Okay. I'm just trying to emphasize how I don't know how brutal this was, because
right.
He claimed that there were several times we were watching him over the course of after I had already given up, and I was like, now pursuing him basically, and we started this Facebook group and we were watching him. He said that there were,
to be clear, this Facebook group that's like Jimmy Krangle victims or whatever you want to call them.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
So we were watching him, and he said a couple of separate times, hurry up, these franchise licenses are going to run out in this November forever. And then he said that again later.
Oh yeah, false scarcity.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. The old Dan Locke's prices are going to go up to $10,000 from $2,500 if you don't act now, right? So
yeah.
No, I mean, just classic stuff. What's interesting is that I hope people who watch this channel on a regular basis start to get the sense that you see the same thing showing up again and again. And I don't think of it as repetitive. I think of it as illustrative of the fact that this industry is not original. Everybody's copying from each other, and all the tactics they use to convince people are the same. They're the same, used in different ways. This false scarcity thing of it's about to expire, you got to join now. It's old as time. It's just as old as time. It's what it is.
Right. And people kept joining, and eventually we got to the point where we were leaving enough bad reviews online that it was starting to affect his business. He was like, hey, you guys are affecting my business. Like, oh, sorry. And then he offered us a refund. He offered me a refund first, and that was sometime in 2019, June, July, and then
contingent on what?
Sorry?
Contingent on what?
Oh. Contingent on the fact that I stop harassing him online.
Stop or delete your previous post as well?
Well, I wasn't going to delete my previous post. At that point, I was past that. So he had already asked for that at one point. Like, I'm going to sue you for libel and defamation if you don't take this down. The first time I took it down. The second time I was like, no, you just got to make good.
You have no idea. How much have you watched of Coffeezilla? Just 1 or 2 videos, or just half a video?
Probably 5 or 6 videos.
Okay. Well, it's just funny to me that because he's checking every box right now. You have no idea how funny this is, because every guru, as soon as they start getting bad reviews, their first option is cease and desist letter. I'm going to sue you for libel and slander.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he signs off the email in plain text, I am a lawyer. Yeah. Right? No, he didn't say that literally, but he's this name lawyer, plain text. There's no logo there. There's no company that I can check or verify. And it has an @english.org email address. All right. So after that, he promised that by October I would get all of the money back. I mean, that wasn't a part of the. He signed an agreement, like a settlement agreement, he called it, and I was supposed to stop defaming him online and stuff. And then it was like $250 a month. He made me 2 payments of $500 bi-monthly, and then by October, the 3rd payment was due. He was late on the first payment, and then in October, he was like, okay, because you're so upset, I'm going to give you all your money back in October. It was like, okay, I'll accept that, because I have to wait. I can't just not wait and see what happens. I have no other option. So
right. He's got you. He's totally got you.
Yeah. And then, a few days before the due date comes around, he's like, because you contacted one of my franchisees and something or whatever, he's like, I'm not going to pay you. He's like, how predictable. And that was the point at which I gave up on it, but
on getting a refund,
emotionally, I was like, this is over. Yeah. But, later we, as a group, we collectively started, pushing back, trying to expose this guy online for what he is. We're just telling our story. He can't stop us from doing that.
Right.
And, there were so many of us, so it had a real impact. And he's like, okay, I'm going to pay you back all of your money. You just got to stop. And that was like $287,000 that he owed us.
Oh, just in this group that had voluntarily joined the group.
Right.
He said he's going to pay all of these people back. By the way, this isn't the number of people who have gotten scammed collectively. This is just the number of people who have been found that voluntarily joined this group. Okay.
Exactly.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, because I know people who were not in the group. They would not join because they're like, maybe I could make 1 or 2 sales here and there and make some of it back. So, I was like, it's your choice, man. Later they would come back and say, hey, you were right about this guy. So that's what happened, He promised he would pay us all back. There were 14 of us who were included in this agreement. And it was $287,000. We argued a bit about the terms, like when should it start, and we settled on February. We didn't have a completely signed agreement, but it was signed by him and sent to us, which we revised and sent back to him. But then he's like, he didn't sign that one. So, but we were like, okay, we're expecting this payment, just so you know, in February, and it was $2,500. It's not a lot for him because we were expecting to get like $10,000 a month, basically, because we didn't want to take forever on this thing. There's only so much we were willing to take, but $2,500 right now as a good faith show of good faith, basically. So he pays that late. And then he's like, okay, I'm liquidating my business. It's all gone.
Wait, that was it? Then he pays $2,500.
I don't understand what he was doing. What did he think he was achieving by that? He gave us $2,500. That's like $120
Maybe
each.
he felt that was his way of paying penance for taking $300,000. He's like, I'll pay them back 1% of what I took from them.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. And then he has these videos later, because we're still watching him, but he has these videos of these very expensive vacations he took with his wife and his family in Thailand. He has these photos of his wife's massage parlor and like these videos of his apartment, really lavish places, resorts, these exotic resorts in Thailand where he went. It was just is in your face,
Yeah. Of him using the money you gave him to go lavishly spend it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what can you do though? The guy does not live in America. Even if he did, getting your money back, even from people in America, is extremely tough. Just people don't understand that contracts aren't worth what you think they're worth. Money back guarantees aren't worth what you think you're worth. What matters is who holds the money. And when you hand that money over to someone else, they've got you. They have got you. Okay, so let's start wrapping this up. So because I think we've run the gamut of you getting involved, you losing all this money, you sort of waking up, you trying to get your money back, unable to get your money back. Jimmy Kringle sort of just disappears into the smoke. And I guess, what are you taking away from this that, I mean, obviously there's no way to get your money back, but how have you sort of, obviously you're speaking out to try to help other people, but what else are you trying to do? What else have you learned?
I've learned not to trust somebody. I saw this quote. It was like from Aristotle or something, but don't trust a man who urges an action for which he takes no risk. So
that is
he took no part in this. Yeah, he took no risk in this. So there is no reason that he should honor his agreements. I can't believe I couldn't see it earlier. I felt so dumb. I was like, okay, now I know, and I can see through all of this stuff now. I feel like this is never going to happen again. That's for sure. But I just feel it's really important for people to know that this kind of thing happens. It's not just these fake gurus who promise you're going to learn something from them that will make you $1 million. Some people actually claim they have a working business model that can make you rich right now.
Fake gurus do that. Kevin.
Yeah.
Oh, Kevin, we'll have to mute that. We have Voldemort says that Amazon FBA is the working business model that's so easy, so future-proof, so perfect that you should get involved. A lot of people do that. This is not uncommon. MLMs are a great example. Multi-level marketing is a great example of people who are constantly saying, hey, you can make all this money. You can make all this money. Foolproof, proven system, proven. I can't tell you how many times I've heard that idiotic line, and it's absolutely not proven. It's absolutely not true. So, no, not uncommon. I think people just have to realize and appreciate how much their mind will convince them because they so badly want it to be true. They so badly want it to be true that for $30,000, you can start making $100,000 a year.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah. That's exactly what I felt. And, I think it's important for people to just be aware of the scale of this thing and all of the things, because there's so many gurus out there. This guy is not even known in the West, and he scammed people out of probably over $1 million. I can't say for sure, but
he's such a good point. That's such a good point. Okay. If you thought, like I did when you first heard the story, who's Jimmy Kringle? Well, richer than me or you, that's who Jimmy Kringle is. And we don't even know about, he's not even a big guru. If that guy is making this amount of money by, over-promising, under-delivering, whatever you want to call it, scamming people, as you said, what are these big gurus doing? What are these gurus who their brand names almost at this point, right? What are the Dan Locks of the world doing? What are the Voldemorts of the world doing in terms of numbers, in terms of number of people that maybe don't get what they're promised?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I want people to be aware of this because you can get sucked in so easy,
and it has profound implications on your life. I mean, $80,000 is no joke. It's caused you to get a new career, have to change your career. It's affected everything, right?
Yeah. I was determined to make it because at the time when I moved back to the US, I was like, I got to go stay with my grandparents again, just so I can, find my footing. Then at that point, that's when the business failed, and I realized what I was involved in. It's like, I'm going to have to stay here forever. I was like, there's no way. So, I'm 30 years old. I need to get out and get on my own. So I was living in poverty for a few months. I got a cheap apartment and bought a car because I was back in the US. I had to get everything set up again. And I started going to school and working part-time just to make enough money. And fortunately, I've been able to make enough money to support myself. So, things are turning around, I want to say, because 2018 and 19 was a big downward slide, and from the top to the bottom, just straight down.
Well, I love your attitude. I mean, I think you have a really good attitude for the hand you've been dealt. And it's clear to me that, you know, given your work ethic, you're gonna eventually rise back up. But people do have to appreciate, I mean, the amount of years it sets you back in terms of where you were, where you are now, what your abilities are now, because you just don't have the money that you did, because you spent it all on this guy. So I think that about covers it. I don't want to rehash too much. I think those are some good final thoughts from you, Levi. Thank you so much, seriously, for coming on the show. People, it is not easy to talk about losing $50,000 on the internet to thousands, tens of thousands of people. So please show some love to Levi in the comment section. And yeah, if you have a similar story you'd like to share, get it out there. I'm telling you guys, this makes a difference. It shows people the architecture of these things. And when they see it, I mean, I get fan mail all the time. Or maybe it's just thank mail, because they just say, hey, I was about to buy this course. I watched one of your videos. I realized I was falling for something that wasn't legit. And that's the best thing we can do here, is prevent future people from getting involved in these ridiculous operations and wasting time and money. Yeah. So thank you so much, Levi.
Thank you, Coffee. Like Stephen, you know, what you do is invaluable. I've never seen anybody do anything like this before. It's like, I see people like Ty Lopez, and I'm like, when is somebody going to call these people out? And I don't want to point fingers again, but you know, you've called so many people out, and it just provides something that was never there, that I've never found before. So thank you.
Absolutely. Appreciate your time.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're talking about Jay Mazzini. He's in the late stage of a scam, guys. Listen, scammer life cycles go through a lot of things. There's the initial up before anyone's heard of them, and they start getting some traction, selling the dream. Then there's the peak of their popularity. But inevitably, the reviews start coming in. People start telling their story. The scam pages come out, and they slowly dive down into obscurity. That can happen a lot of different ways. It can happen like a whimper, or they can go out with a bang. And I'm convinced that Jay Mazzini is trying to do the latter. He's not content to go out into obscurity like many other scammers have in the past. He wants to go out by, as cynically as possible, ripping off his fan base. Now, let's be clear. Let's catch you up. I made a video about the $100 million scam where he talked about Jay Mazzini's clothing line, Mazzini Italy, where he was promising giveaways that, of course, never happened. He would promise like $10,000 if you bought like $100 worth of product on his website. I mean, crazy things like that, to the point where he had literally promised away $100 million in giveaways.
Hear this quickly. For the next 200 people to place in 1,000 Mazzini Italy orders, like for each person to place in $1,000 Mazzini Italy order, it's a lot, but I'll be cutting out a check for $125,000.
Now, recently, what has he been doing? Well, he's been doing a Bitcoin scam. Now, normally we see this. What's surprising is normally we see this with the with actual hackers, like you're hacked and then you start posting about Bitcoin. With Jay Mazzini, I don't see any evidence that he was hacked. Instead, this almost looks like something he would just normally do. So he started posting on his Twitter account, I am buying Bitcoin a little above market price. I am buying Bitcoin, and you know, several times he's been posting this since January 1. He says he's paying 5.5% over market value for Bitcoin. And why is he doing that? Why is he not just buying it on an exchange? So you can just see he keeps posting about it. It's because he says he has an account limit and he just wants to buy so much Bitcoin. He wants to buy it at its peak, guys. I messaged him, actually. I got some, hit me up. He never did, surprisingly. Now, what's interesting to note here is that even though he keeps posting about this, he also is deleting it constantly on his Instagram. So as you can see, there's no giveaway here. Although, once again, if you go back to his Twitter, all the Jay Mazzini Bitcoin scams are still up and running as usual. So how does the scam work? Now that we know sort of what he's doing, his social media is dying because people have exposed him as a scam, and now he's taking people's Bitcoin. Well, here's how it works. Mohammed Amar went through this, and not only that, he took screenshots. So Jay Mazzini starts it, and he'll tell you, I'm just sitting for 2 coins now. You're going to be good. I really don't want to be in an awkward position. This guy says, I got you, brother. I need 20 minutes to send. Hey, brother, it's sent. So, sends a wire transfer. Okay, inshallah, man, I will be on the lookout. By the way, this is what you call, I mean, it's not a true affinity scam, but this is kind of falls down that line. An affinity scam is when somebody tries to use your fellow class of maybe identity to try to get you to trust them. So in Jay Mazzini's case, it's the fact that he is a Muslim, right? And so he's constantly posting about his faith, which that's fine, but then he uses that to try to bring you in and say he's trustworthy and then scam you in the end. So again, after he sends it, the wire transfer isn't there. He supposedly sent it. So he says, okay, am I getting the 0.9 coin? Inshallah, send me your details. We will sort it out, blah, 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 blah. He doesn't get it. He says, I sent a wire for 81,000. You should receive it in 2 to 3 business days at the most. Classic scam. What's the word? You trying to play me? So now he's pretending to get upset about the fact he hasn't been paid his Bitcoin yet, even though he hasn't really paid his wire. This guy says, I texted you in the morning. You said you'd send the coin today. Are you going to wait till you get the wire, then send it? This guy says, wire has been canceled. Who are you for me to send you the funds first? Then you send me the coin. Sorry, I'm not obligated to trust you first. Obviously, this is ridiculous. Jay Mazzini has chosen to go outside the broker traditional method of getting Bitcoin because he wants to sort of buy it up. But then he wants people to send him cash first. Obviously, it is a scam. Why would you pay 5.5% over market value for this? Now, this guy correctly responds, neither am I, bro. You're asking me to send you 0.9 Bitcoin or $35,000 just because you texted me this. You didn't show me any proof either. It's really sad to see this kind of stuff coming from you, bro. I always thought you were a really legit guy with a good heart, but you high-key cheating people. Yes, that's correct. Yo, bro, I don't know you from a hole in the wall to send you anything first. Who are you? If anything, you're cheating me. You want me to wait for funds to reach you so I can say, oh, Jay, I'm not going to run. I'm supposed to trust you first. Okay, classic manipulation. Yeah, so what can we learn from this, ladies and gentlemen? Well, I mean, what's the point of all this? Is it just that Jay Mazzini's pathetic? Well, that's definitely part of it. You know, he does these giveaways where he pretends to be giving away money to people. He lives this lifestyle of having all this cash, right? So that's the thing that's going on with Jay Mazzini. I mean, he's a classic con man. They've been around forever, but they manipulate you by making you feel like you're the untrustworthy one for not putting your money with them, right? And that's what this guy's doing. He's saying, I'm the successful businessman, blah, 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 even though there's no proof of that.
I gotta tell you,
there's no proof of anything this guy has done, as a matter of fact, except for flash money around and scam people. So, yeah, I just wanted to put this out there. Do not fall for this guy's lies. And recently, the scam has just gotten so blatant that I felt an obligation to tell you guys about this so you can avoid this man at all costs. He will tell you everything you want to hear, but then you'll be left holding the bag. Do not fall for this stuff, guys. Honestly, it's so funny because every time you see a Bitcoin scam now, you just assume they're hacked. And it's just funny to see someone who probably is not hacked because this falls right along, you know, the normal MO of Jay Mazzini. So, yeah, that's basically it. Just wanted to get this out real quick, tell you guys what was happening. That's it. See ya.
I know what you mean. This ain't what it seemed. Nothing but a trick, trying to sell me on a dream, but that was where you lost me. Wake up and smell the coffee. I know what you mean. This ain't what it seemed. Nothing but a trick.